God, I feel like death. Not because of the movie. I went to a party last night, immediately after Avengers. And I have to wake up in the morning after, and talk about a comic book movie made for children. So I saw Avengers Infinity War, the latest Marvel movie. I like the Marvel movies, if you don't know. I like most of them. I was iffy on Black Panther, because I'm a racist. I... no, that's not why. I just thought it was... I love Spider-Man. I won't say love, but I really, really like Guardians 2. Thor 3 I liked. It's the best Thor movie for sure. Taika Waititi actually did something interesting with it. My favorite ones, I think, are Iron Man and the first Avengers. And Guardians 2 and Spider-Man and Civil War and Winter Soldier are up there. What I think of Avengers Infinity War? Well, if you're not a fan of Marvel, I don't think this movie's for you. It's basically it. That's all there is to it, because it's not really a movie. And I mean that in a good way. It's so its own animal that I can't even really judge it as a movie. Because it's, my friend said, I saw it with, he said it's more of an event. The thing is, you can't make a movie, a traditional 3-act structured movie, with this many characters and this much going on. And so the movie it's just its own animal. It's a bunch of characters who aren't given any development because they all already have development. Going on a mission to save the universe, basically. And as that, I think it's good. I think I'm just going to get into spoilers immediately. I'm guessing everyone who's going to see it is going to see it this weekend. And if you just have no interest in seeing it, then don't see it. It's probably not for you. I'm a lover of cinema, and, you know, these movies are considered dangerous by people who love film, because it's just movies like this are disjointed CGI mess clusterfucks. It's almost 3 hours of that shit, of just no character development and people fighting. But the thing is, the movie works. I knew every single one of these people, and even though there's so much going on, and there's so many different characters and plot lines and just fighting, I never felt bored, and I was never confused as to what's going on, like I am with the DC movies. It's darker than most Marvel movies, which I did like. The thing I wasn't expecting is spoilers. We're getting to spoilers now. Is that this is Thanos' movie. When you really look at it, it's all these other characters are there for the dressing and to get people in the theater, obviously. And I did enjoy seeing where they were going and what they were doing next. But in terms of the actual, I guess the only thing I could call a plot and the only thing I could call character development is everything with Thanos. Everything involving Gamora. No one likes Gamora. I don't know why. I like Gamora a lot, and I will love her relationship with Chris Pratt, or Star-Lord. Seeing her die was really surprising. This movie had consequences. It was insane. It really was. Loki died almost immediately. Idris Elba died, but yeah, whatever. The Vision died, and yeah, before the movie started, I saw that coming. But the movie does a good job making you think they're going to find a way to save the Vision, and then they don't. Because I was wondering, who the fuck is Thanos? Why should I care about him? What's interesting about him? He's gonna be another guy who wants to take over the universe. And when you really break it down, this whole movie, Thanos is the main character. And everything with him was really just kind of fascinating. Really one of the best villains I've ever seen in a superhero movie. Because the movie's about him. And he wins at the end of the day. Which is insane. You never don't understand his mindset or what he's trying to do or where he's coming from. You totally get where he's coming from. You don't agree with it, but you understand his motivation really well. So it's not just a purple guy who wants to destroy the universe again. The Russo brothers who directed this just really wanted us to understand Thanos. And Thanos doesn't fall into any of the trappings that these other Marvel movies do with their villains, which I hate. And the villains either boil down to, it's just a random guy who wants to take over the planet, has no personality. Or a jokey, hey, I'm a jokey villain, I make jokes, like Loki. Loki's an awesome villain for what he is. But he's a funny guy, like he's not a good villain like the Joker or anything. And Thanos is not on the level of the Joker. Well, he's above the Jared Leto Joker.
I'm an idea.
But he really is the most fascinating part of this movie, and probably one of the best villains in superhero movies. I've seen all of them, and it's not so much I thought this movie's great because there's tons of bad stuff in it, but it's such an ambitious piece of filmmaking to do this. No one wants to call this filmmaking because they say it's dumb factory Marvel movies, but there are creative people behind this, planning everything out. And then I see other studios trying to do what Marvel does, like DC, like even Star Wars. And these guys have no plan and no consistency and no tone because they don't know what they're doing. And Marvel does it right. You know, this is a movie that's a decade in the making. And not only is it not disappointing, it's quite surprising, I gotta say. What are some other good things about it? Okay, so although there's all these subplots going on, you never lose track of where anyone is. You understand why everyone's doing what they're doing. And because it's such an oddly structured movie, it doesn't fall into many of the trappings that other Marvel movies do. I mean, it does a little bit, you can't help it, but it was different enough. All these superhero movies are basically beat by beat the same thing, and this isn't, because it's got so many characters it can't do that. The visual effects, I think, are pretty fucking amazing, and I know that's a given in all of these movies now, except it isn't. Visual effects for me are they're very rarely done well, especially on this scale. This movie cost $300 million, apparently, and it looks it. You see where every penny went. And not all the effects look great. There are some really wonky, weird-looking ones, mainly when humans are interacting with CGI, like when Thanos picks someone up, or when the Hulk, or not the Hulk, Bruce Banner is like in the Hulkbuster suit. That all looked like shit. But the thing is, there's so many effects that I probably didn't even notice 98% of them. I'm guessing most of the environments and half the characters were all CGI. I gotta commend the effects team, because they did a fucking excellent job. I don't know how well it'll hold up over time, probably won't. Thanos, I think, will hold up. The CG they did on Thanos was pretty fantastic. You know, I was thinking back to Black Panther, which looked like a PlayStation 2 game. And, you know, you're going to ask me what I think happened. I think they took all their VFX people, because as far as I know, it's all the same people working on all these Marvel movies. And they took the VFX people that were slated to work on Black Panther and just moved them to Infinity War. So you got 8 people working on Black Panther CGI, and that's why it looks like that. Yeah, but Black Panther in this movie was fucking awesome. He didn't do anything, really. He just fought people. And that's all everyone does in this movie, really. It's cool to always see these people from different movies come together and interact, and all the interactions between them were great. I really like what they did with Thor in this movie. This is the first time Thor's actually been an interesting person. I mean, even in the movies where he's good, he's usually just a doofus. But this movie, he's actually he's suffered a lot, and he has nothing left to lose. And it's really sad. He's become a really tragic character. And that made him so much more interesting to me. I mean, even just having Doctor Strange and Iron Man together, it's a great pairing. I think everything the movie had to do, it did pretty well. Establishing Thanos as a threat and not as a buffoon who cracks out dumb one-liners every fucking 5 minutes like Ultron. The movie had consequences. It looked great. Russo brothers also have this handheld Jason Bourne style, which they apply to this movie, which I thought was kind of interesting, the same way they directed the Captain America movies. But that's when we're going to start to get into complaints, because it's a thing where the thing I like most about certain Marvel movies is their personality. Each director kind of brings their own take on this same universe to the table. You know, you got James Gunn with the Guardians movies, and you got the Russo brothers with the Captain America movies. Taika Waititi, what he did with Thor was cool. And the worst Marvel movies for me are the ones that kind of lack a personality and a vision, whether it come from the writers or the filmmaker. When you're combining 10 movies into one movie, you really can't have your own distinctive personal style. You kind of gotta mesh all these movies together until it becomes like this Frankenstein monster. And the movie really lacks a voice and a personality for most of it. There's certain points where the Russo brothers shine through, but not often. It was very artificial feeling. I found the action mostly boring, I found some of the Doctor Strange stuff kind of cool, where he's turning, time in reverse, and Thanos is turning missiles into birds. But most of the action was just, people fighting. The Russo brothers really excel at martial arts and practical scenes of fighting, which is what all the Captain America movies are. Like, those action scenes are really fucking cool. And they rarely get the opportunity to do that in this movie because everything's just so big scale. And I found it kind of dull. When they were fighting those aliens in Wakanda, I was like, yeah, whatever. It's just what all these movies devolve into. The dialogue writing throughout most of it was pretty fucking bad. Not that I go to these movies for, Aaron Sorkin dialogue, but Iron Man had some weak-ass lines in this. The romance with the Vision and Scarlet Witch was just bad. I feel you. Some dog shit like that. Like, no one cares about these characters. Yeah, it's a really weak script for the most part. The thing is, I liked Thor in this, and I liked Rocket Raccoon and Groot in this. But they're just not given a lot to do in the movie. They go to find a guy who can make a new axe for Thor, played by Peter Dinklage, who really wasn't that good. And I just kept thinking, they didn't need this in the movie. This is filler. This is all this stuff is just boring. They use the violin, that violin cliche, they use it. They use it toward the end. Like, if you're just gonna sit down and watch this movie with no context at all, and you haven't seen the other movies, you're not gonna enjoy it. If you're not a fan of these movies, you're not gonna enjoy it. But if you are a fan, I think there's a lot here for you. And even if you aren't a fan, or you're kind of a fan, there's a lot to admire about it. Everyone gives a solid performance. Josh Brolin's really good. The CGI is great. Thanos is a good character. You know what I noticed too? Is that it's very similar to Star Wars The Last Jedi. In terms of everything. In terms of the way it's structured, how it has these different subplots, in terms of the theme of the movie being failure, and all of our heroes failing. Except, I think this movie does a far better job remaining cohesive and consistent than Last Jedi did. And the thing is, the Marvel Universe is so much more comical and lighthearted than the Star Wars universe is. So when they do silly shit in the Marvel movies, it's okay, because it's a silly universe inherently. Whereas the Star Wars universe is much darker. So if they do silly shit like, let's say, Leia floating in space back to the ship, then that's pretty fucking bad. So yeah, would I recommend this movie? Yeah. I'm not excited about it or enthused about it. I thought it was fine. I sat there, I enjoyed myself, it was entertaining. I'll see the next Avengers next year, and I'll probably see... I don't want to see Ant-Man. I don't want to see Ant-Man. I really don't care. I'll see Captain Marvel, because I don't want to be called a sexist. And then I think I'm done. I'll see the Spider-Man movies, because I like Spider-Man. When they make Spider-Man movies, I'll go see them. He did die at the end of this, though, along with half the cast. But I think we all know they're going to come back. Everyone who faded away at the end of the movie, I think they're going to come back. The only ones that are dead for good are Loki, Idris Elba. That's how great of a character he is. I remember him as Idris Elba. Gamora and Vision. I think those four are dead for good. Everybody else, I think, is still a player. And Marvel, I bet, wants to make 1,000 movies with them. So, if you want to see it, go see it. If you don't want to see it, if you have no interest in Marvel movies and you think it's the death of cinema, then don't see it. It's as simple as that. On the Marvel chart, it's like around here. I think that's fair. It might move. Who knows? Who cares?